Hey guys, what's up? It's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. So I just want to come on because I watched a video that one of my friends did. His name is Eric, and he has a channel called Driven Industries, and he was talking about PTSD. And he was saying the title of the video, and I would like for you guys to go over there and watch it. The title of the video is not PTSD, not just for first responders and veterans, I think, or something like that. Like, what he's saying is not people who were in wars, people who are first responders. Those aren't the only people who suffer from PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay? And so it got me to thinking about some of the things that I've went through, that I struggle with PTSD from still to this day. And I wanted to share two of those situations with you guys. I've shared these before on my channel, but I don't think I've made dedicated videos to these incidents. And so, got my tree up. Doesn't it look good? And do you see this right here hanging? My son threw this little, you know, those sticky lizard things up on the ceiling, and I can't pull it down. So it's just hanging right there. So that's what that is. It's a little toy sticky thing. So we'll start out with what happened first. So from 2001-ish to 2006, I was in a relationship with a man who used to beat me. There's no way around it. There's no nice way to say it. He beat me every day. It didn't start out like that, though. He didn't start out by beating me. And that's kind of why I didn't realize that it was going to happen. Like, I didn't have any preparation. You know, it just started happening. So it was like I had been with him for about 2 years, okay? And there was little things that he had done that really showed me that I needed to get out of the relationship. But I was in my active addiction, and so was he. And so one of those things was we were driving and we got into an argument. I punched him and he threw my car into oncoming traffic. And what I mean by that is we hit someone head on. He took my wheel, he yanked it, and threw us into oncoming traffic. That was 6 months into our relationship. Right then, when that happened, I should have gotten out of there. You know, I should have left, but I didn't, and I can't change it. You know what I mean? All I can do is come here and tell you guys what happened, so that way I hope you all don't have to go through the same situation, through the same hardships that I went through. So that was 6 months in. Then a year into the relationship, one of his ex-girlfriends had reached out to me, and she was telling me, Nicole, you need to leave him. You need to get away from him. He used to beat me. Like, I'm telling you, he's going to start hitting you. And I was like, oh, I'm different, girl. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm different. I got this on lock. He loves me. And so I didn't leave. And so that year went by. We got into altercations, we got into verbal arguments, and that's how things started to happen. We started to get into verbal arguments, and then he started emotionally abusing me and verbally abusing me, calling me bitch, whore, slut, C-U-N-T, you're no good for nothing, fat piece of shit, fat ass, just shit that you don't say to a woman that you love. You know what I'm saying? And, oh God. I could be called all kinds of bitches and hoes. I can be called all kinds of C-U-N-Ts and whores and sluts. But when you call me a fat ass, when you call me something to do with my weight, those are fighting words. You know what I mean? Like, I'm coming at you charging. Pow, 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 pow. And that's what happened is he would do that, and then I would get so angry I would charge at him, and he would throw me on the ground. And so a lot of the times I would initiate physical contact with him, and he would push me away. And so I thought that I thought I was like, it was different for us because he wasn't going to hit me. Well, I stopped initiating physical contact with him because he started just beating me. Like, it wasn't like I started it and then he would beat me. It was like out of nowhere, after working up to that, after abusing me mentally, abusing me verbally, abusing me emotionally, holding me down. Like, he would do this thing where he would hold me down and put his right here into my neck. And I couldn't breathe, you guys. Like, it would push down this right here. I would have bruises from where he would push that down so hard. And my eyes, the veins in my eyes would pop out of my head. That's how hard he was fucking holding me down. One day, I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember it because I had to go to the hospital. I came home and I was high. I had went and got a bunch of pills. I always got a bunch of pills. I made all the money. I worked 2 jobs. And so I went and got some pills, and I think I brought him home like 2 or 3. And so I was fucked up, and he knew that I had eaten more than he had. He didn't even say anything. He grabbed this big old giant sippy cup. You know how kids drink out sippy cups? It was full of milk, and he took it and he chunked it at me. And it busted my head open. It looks like that's not a part. This right here is a scar from where he busted my head open. Okay, my part is right here. Like that, okay? Or like this. But this right here is a scar. Nothing grows there. No hair grows there because I had to get stitches in my forehead. So blood went everywhere. I mean, it was gushing, and I went in there and I was crying, and he was eating a Taco Bell burrito. And he took his Taco Bell burrito and he shoved it into my eyeball. Bean burrito falling down my face. Blood. I was crying. I could not believe it that he just broke my head open and then shoved a burrito in my face. I cried. He came immediately over. Are you okay? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. He started crying, begging me to forgive him. I put a towel on it, cleaned myself up. I put a towel on my head, and I passed out. I was so high on opiates and benzos. I woke up about 3 hours later, and the towel was soaked with blood. And my forehead was not, it wouldn't quit bleeding. So I went to the hospital, and I had to lie. That was the first time I ever went to the hospital. And I had to lie and say that I fell, tripped over a weight bench, and hit my head on the barbell thingamajigger, this thing. I went to my job, and all the ladies at my job knew because they knew how he treated me. Then the next incident I had was when he punched me in the face. And I went to my job with a black eye. And I lied again and said I fell. But everybody knew what was happening. Ever since then, the last time he beat me was we had been broken up for over a year. And I missed him so much for some reason, you guys. I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't love myself enough. I don't know why I kept going back. But we had been broke up for a year, and I just ran into him. I was getting really high on meth and opiates, and we crossed paths somehow because we were both in active addiction. And I went and stayed the night with him one night, and we got really drunk. We were drinking vodka and red Kool-Aid. We were fucking hood. We didn't give a damn. And we were drinking it, cups full, red Solo cups full of vodka and red lemonade mixed up. We were staying at his friend's house, this gay guy. Next thing you know, you guys, we were fighting out in the garage, and he was bouncing my head off the concrete. Bam! And I would get back up, and I would run at him. Motherfucker! Bam! Back on the concrete. I pissed myself. That's how bad he knocked me out. I pissed all over myself. I woke up the next morning with such a bad concussion that when I went to stand up, I immediately fell down. My head was so concussed. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me what force was protecting me. I got in my car and I drove home. And my mom and dad opened the door, and my head looked like an alien's head. That's how bad he beat me, okay? It was so bad. I had to go to the hospital because I could not stand up without falling down. That's what this concussion did to me. That's the last time I've ever seen him alive. He ended up dying in a car accident. He was the passenger of someone who was driving and drinking and driving, and he was ejected from the car and killed. And still to this day, I think about him, and still to this day, I have dreams about. I dream about that shit. It's a nightmare I dream about. It's like something takes me back to where I'm in that trailer with him. And I'll wake up and I'm like, I'm not in that trailer. I have my husband. I have my son. But I remember it. I'll never forget. I'll never forget, because no man ever treated me like he did. It was horrible. I've been in some real bad situations before, but I've never had anybody beat me like he beat me. I've never had anybody beat me. He's the only person that's ever put their hands on me. Any other guy I've ever been with, they've never beat me. I was in a short relationship while I was in treatment with a kid, and he was a lot younger than I was, and he was crazy like that, and he was starting to try and beat me like that, and we were getting high on cocaine, and he held me hostage one night. So after I left that guy, I went into treatment, and I was in detox, and then I was in the halfway house, and I met this guy. We'll call him T. And T was so cute. He was like 22 years old, blonde hair, blue eyes, nice build, and I was me, and we really hit it off when we started seeing each other. And this guy held me hostage in an apartment for 8 hours straight. He took my car. I was in the passenger side. He made me shoot up cocaine. He took it, loaded it, and made me shoot it up. Like, did it for me, and we were driving down the interstate. I mean, going so fast. He threw my purse out the window, my phone, took the SIM card out of it, and held me hostage in an apartment, high on cocaine. It was the scariest thing that I've ever experienced in my life. But all that, we were all good, and then we started getting high. We relapsed, left the halfway house and relapsed, and he held me hostage. So those are two situations where, like, I have severe fucking flashbacks from that shit. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it haunts me still to this day. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to save the other one for another video, because listen, you guys, the other situation is really, it's trigger warnings, and I don't want to put it in this video because I feel like it needs its own video. But those two situations that I just shared with you are two men that I was seeing. One who took me there. He beat me every day for the last 3 years of our relationship. He beat me. And then a guy that I was dating for not even 3 months. We were living in the treatment center, living in the halfway house together, going to meetings, staying sober. We relapsed. We got on cocaine, and then, like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, he started like crazy, and wouldn't let me leave that house. Took my keys, took my phone, threw my purse out the window. It was really, really scary, you guys. And the only reason I got away was because my friend Chaz came over, and he like knocked on the door, and him and T were friends, and T answered the phone, and Chaz was like, "Hey man, what's up?" And he came inside, and I was crying, and he was like, "Man, you gotta let her go. You can't be doing that. Like, you're gonna get yourself in trouble." And I ended up getting to leave. I left with Chaz, but it was like God sent him there as an angel, because that dude was not gonna let me go. He was pacing the floors, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And all these things happened, you guys, heavily intoxicated on methamphetamine, cocaine, and opiates. And IV. I've never had anything like this happen to me with somebody who is snorting or smoking dope. It's always when they start banging dope. It's like, it's a whole new person. It takes your soul. So, yeah, because of those situations, because of those circumstances, those instances, whatever those are, those two things I went through with those two different guys, there's, like I said, there's nights where I'll wake up and I'll dream that I'm back there, and it's so scary to think that my mind is still trying to process and cope through that. Even now with my husband today, if we get into an argument, I always flinch. And he's like, why are you flinching? He doesn't even lift his hand to me. Nothing. And I'm like, I just can't help it sometimes, because I automatically think because we're disagreeing on something that it's going to lead to something more. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I love y'all so much. I could talk forever. I don't want to make this video really long. I want you guys to be able to watch it and enjoy it. So if you guys want to know anything else about my life or anything like that, just put it in the comment section below and I'll make a video for you guys. All right. Love you. Bye. Oh, see you tonight at 7.